Imagine you volunteer for a simple psychology experiment about visual perception. You walk into a room with a group of other participants. The researcher shows you 2 cards. On the first card, there's a single line. On the second, there are 3 lines of varying lengths, labeled A, B, and C. Your task is ridiculously easy. Say which of the 3 lines matches the first one. You look at the cards. The answer is obviously C. It's not even close. The researcher goes around the room, asking each person for their answer. The first person confidently says B. You blink. The second person also says B. The third, the fourth, the fifth. They all unanimously agree the answer is B. Now it's your turn. Everyone is looking at you. What do? Do you trust the undeniable evidence of your own eyes? Or do you go along with the group's obviously wrong answer? You probably think you'd stand your ground, but the science says you're probably wrong. This was the setup for the Asch conformity experiment, and its results revealed a disturbing glitch in our social code. What the real participant didn't know was that everyone else in the room was an actor, a confederate, who had been instructed by the lead researcher, Solomon Asch, to give the wrong answer on purpose during specific rounds. There was only one true subject in each session. Asch wanted to measure the extent to which social pressure from a majority group could affect a person's judgment. The task was designed to be unambiguous. There was no room for interpretation. There was a clearly correct answer and a clearly incorrect one. The experiment would start with a few rounds where everyone gave the correct answer, building a baseline of normalcy. Then, suddenly, on the 3rd or 4th trial, the Confederates would begin giving the same coordinated wrong answer. The real subject, who was typically seated near the end of the line, would exhibit a range of reactions: confusion, nervous laughter, and visible discomfort. They were caught in a psychological vice between 2 powerful forces: what they knew to be true and what the group claimed to be true. And the results were shocking. Across all trials, a staggering 75% of participants conformed to the group's wrong answer at least once. In the critical trials, about 1/3 of all responses were conformed, incorrect answers. This is where the experiment gets truly uncomfortable. Why would so many people abandon the evidence of their own senses? The interviews after the experiment revealed it wasn't just one reason. It was 2 deep-seated, primal human fears at war with each other. The first reason people conformed is what psychologists call informational conformity. This is the desire to be correct. When faced with a unanimous group disagreeing with them, some participants began to genuinely doubt their own perception. Their internal monologue was something like, "How can all of these people be wrong? They all see it as B. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe my eyesight is bad. Maybe I misunderstood the instructions." They used the group's consensus as a piece of information, assuming that a collective judgment was more reliable than their own individual one. This is a mental shortcut we use all the time. If you're in a foreign country and don't know the customs, you watch what the locals do and copy them. You conform because you believe they have more information than you do. In the Asch experiment, the social information from the group became so powerful that it literally overwrote the visual information coming from the person's own eyes. They conformed because they were afraid of being objectively wrong. The second, and often more powerful reason, is normative conformity. This is the desire to be liked, to fit in, and to be accepted by the group. Many of the participants who conformed later admitted in interviews that they knew the group's answer was wrong. They saw the correct line with their own eyes, but they gave the wrong answer anyway. Why? Because the social pain of being the lone dissenter, of being ostracized, felt worse than the discomfort of lying. They were afraid of being ridiculed, of looking foolish, or of disrupting the group's harmony. This is a primal fear. For our ancestors, being cast out of the tribe was a death sentence. That instinct to maintain social belonging is still deeply wired into our brains. We are programmed to find consensus. Standing alone against a group, even a group of strangers in a temporary experiment, is incredibly difficult. They didn't conform because they thought the group was right. They conformed because they were afraid of the social consequences of being different. So we're trapped by these two fears: the fear of being wrong and the fear of being alone. But Asch didn't stop there. In a brilliant follow-up, he discovered the one thing that could shatter this entire effect: a single factor that gives us the code to break free. Asch tweaked the experiment. In a new set of trials, he instructed just one of the actors to break from the majority and give the correct answer. Now, the real subject was not alone. They had a single ally, one other person in the room who saw the world the way they did. The result? Conformity rates plummeted, dropping by over 75%. The presence of just one dissenting voice was enough to shatter the majority's power. This ally did two things. First, they provided social proof that dissent was possible, reducing the normative pressure. The subject was no longer the lone weirdo. They were part of a small, alternative group. Second, the ally validated the subject's own perception, reducing the informational pressure. It confirmed their thought, "I'm not crazy. Someone else sees it too." This is the profound lesson of the Asch experiment. The power of the group is immense, but it is also fragile. It often relies on an illusion of unanimous consensus. The Asch experiment wasn't just about lines on a card. It was a terrifyingly simple demonstration of how social pressure can distort reality. And this force is more relevant today than ever. You see it in corporate boardrooms, where a bad idea goes unchallenged because no one wants to be the one to speak up against the boss. This is groupthink. You see it on social media, where a mob mentality can form in minutes, pressuring everyone to adopt the same opinion. You see it in fashion, in politics, in financial bubbles. The code is this: our brains are hardwired to conform because, for most of human history, it was a survival strategy. But in the modern world, where independent and critical thought is essential, this same instinct can be a dangerous glitch. The lesson from Asch's ally is not just to seek out dissenting voices, but to have the courage to be one. Your single act of speaking the truth, of pointing out that the answer is C, not B, might just be the signal that gives everyone else in the room the courage to trust their own eyes again. This pressure to conform is a silent force we all face. In what area of your life, work, social groups, online, do you feel the strongest pressure to conform? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's talk about how this plays out in the real world. And if this video helped you deconstruct a powerful social force, hit the like button to help more people find the courage to be an ally. Thanks for thinking critically with us today.